They say before you judge a man's silence, you should first ask what he has been carrying alone. This story is not about wickedness. It is not about betrayal. It is about absence, truth, and the courage to choose the right path. Long ago, but close enough to feel familiar, there lived a man named Daniel. Daniel was not a weak man. He was not lazy and he was not foolish. He was simply a man who wanted peace when he returned home. Daniel was married to a woman named Miriam. Miriam was admired by many people. She was educated, ambitious, and always busy. From morning until night, her phone was the extension of her hand. If the phone was quiet, she felt uneasy. If it rang, everything else stopped. She answered calls in the bathroom. She checked messages at the dining table. She talked about business even in bed. People praised her and said she was going far in life. But nobody asked who was being left behind. When Daniel married her, he believed marriage was about patience and understanding. He told himself that with time, things would settle. But slowly, their home lost warmth. Food came from restaurants. The house was clean, but it felt empty. Two people lived together, yet they were far apart. When Daniel talked, Miriam nodded while scrolling on her phone. When Daniel complained, she said, "Just manage for now." So, Daniel managed. One season, something important happened. After many years of hard work, Daniel finished building his own house. It was his pride. In their culture, such a moment could not pass quietly. People had to come, prayers had to be said, the house had to be opened properly. Many of the people invited had never met Daniel's wife. They only knew she was busy, ambitious, and always traveling. That same week, Miriam received urgent news about her business. A serious problem came up and she had to travel immediately. As she packed her bags, Daniel watched quietly. "I won't be around for the house opening," she said. Daniel sighed. Then she added, "What if we hire someone?" Daniel asked, "Hire someone for what?" "A woman," Miriam replied, "someone older and responsible. She can stay in the house, welcome guests, and stand in for me. No one there knows me anyway." Daniel did not like the idea. Marriage was not something to act, but Miriam was confident and pressure was heavy. Against his inner voice, Daniel agreed. That was how Grace came into the house. Grace was not young. Her face showed wisdom and calm. Her voice was gentle and her presence was steady. From the first day, Grace made something clear. She told Daniel, "I am only here to help. This is your wife's home. I will not take what does not belong to me." She kept her distance, she dressed simply, she spoke respectfully. She never entered Daniel's private space without reason. Grace cooked slowly and carefully. The house smelt like food made with care. She cleaned and arranged things with intention. When Daniel came home tired, she asked how his day went and listened. If he spoke too long, she reminded him gently, "Rest now, tomorrow is another day." She never tried to replace Miriam. She never tried to become the wife. She simply did what Miriam was absent to do. The house opening came. Guests arrived, food was served, prayers were said. Grace welcomed everyone with respect. No one questioned her. People left saying Daniel had married well. Daniel heard those words and felt something break and heal at the same time. Daniel reminded himself that Grace was only there because of a contract, but the heart does not understand contracts. Grace stayed in the house as agreed. During that time, Daniel became lighter. He slept better. He laughed more. He spoke freely and looked forward to rush home immediately after work. Grace listened without distraction. She noticed when he was quiet. She noticed when he was heavy. She noticed what Miriam never had time to see. Still, Grace never crossed the line. When Daniel once lingered in conversation late at night, Grace stood up and said, "It is late. A married man should rest." Those words stayed with Daniel. Grace was there only because of an agreement, but again, the heart does not understand agreements. When the agreed time ended, Grace packed quietly. She thanked Daniel, prayed for the house, and left without drama. She did not leave behind promises. She did not leave behind hope. She left behind truth. 2 days later, Miriam returned. The house became busy again. Phones rang, meetings were discussed, silence returned. Her phone was once again the extension of her hand. One evening, Miriam was talking loudly on the phone in the living room. Daniel walked in tired and distracted. Without thinking, he said, "Grace, can you please—" He stopped. The room went silent. Miriam slurred slowly and stared at him. "What did you just call me?" Daniel froze. He apologized immediately. He said it was a mistake, but the name had already done its damage. From that day, Miriam became uneasy. Grace was no longer just a helper. She was a reminder of absence. Daniel tried to explain gently at first. He spoke about loneliness, about how the house had felt alive. Miriam laughed it off. She said he was being dramatic. But one evening, Daniel could no longer keep quiet. He stood up and said, "Put the phone down. I need you to hear me." His voice was calm, but his eyes were firm. He told her he was a man of integrity. He said he would never cheat on his wife, never hide another woman behind her, never live a double life. Then he said the words Miriam never expected. "If nothing changes, I will ask for a divorce. I will do it openly and respectfully. I will marry a woman who stays, not a woman who is only present in name." Miriam felt the ground shift under her feet. For the first time, she saw Daniel not as a patient husband, but as a man ready to walk away. That night, Miriam cried alone. The days that followed were heavy. She tried to change, not perfectly, but sincerely. She struggled to put the phone down. She struggled to sit still. She struggled to listen without checking messages. But she tried. Daniel did not soften immediately. He watched. He waited. One evening, after many weeks, Miriam managed to cook dinner herself. Daniel ate quietly. She looked at him and said, "I don't know if I can be who you want, but I don't want to lose you." Daniel looked at her for a long time and continued eating. Grace had already shown Daniel what it felt like to be seen and heard. Once a man learns the difference between someone who is around and someone who truly stays, he can never unlearn it. And somewhere else, Grace was also watching her own life fall apart, knowing she loved a man she could never touch. Then one evening, a knock came at the door. Daniel opened it. Grace stood there, and Miriam was right behind him. 3 hearts, 1 house, 1 decision waiting to be made. And that was where everything truly began. If you want to know what Daniel chose, what Miriam did next, and whether Grace walked away or stayed forever in his heart, then make sure you subscribe. Part 2 drops this same time next week. Do not miss it.